how'd you come out of that health-wise? Looked like LeBron tweaked his ankle again, and just overall, what'd you think of the offense tonight?
Yeah, well, like you said, LeBron tweaked his tweaked his ankle. You know, we're going to list him as questionable for tomorrow night. See how he feels tomorrow. And Alex Caruso also strained a muscle in his hand. Same deal. We'll list him as questionable. We'll see how he feels tomorrow. Alex probably could have returned if it were a closer game, but we erred on the side of caution. And offensively, really liked their ball movement. I thought Kuz set a great tone for us early in the game. We're really trying to grow his movement, catch and shoot game, and you know, it's just a great night for him, showing all the work he's been putting in. But really set a tone for us, you know, moving the ball, shooting threes that are open. And, you know, Marc at the top of the key, you know, we finally saw sort of what we can look like when we play through him with his passing up there.
Okay, we're going to go with David McMenamin.
Frank, considering what we spoke about this morning and pregame about AD and the nature of back-to-backs and the intention of playing guys, but obviously if there's anything extenuating that would change things, are you leaning any way on LeBron tomorrow, considering it is a back-to-back and obviously the ankle's now been tweaked twice in 3 games?
Not really leaning one way or the other. We're going to see how he feels tomorrow, you know, and you know, we'll make those decisions on a case-by-case, game-by-game basis throughout the year. And you know, if he's healthy and wants to play, we'll put him in there. But you know, we'll see how he feels tomorrow.
Okay, we're going to go with Dan Wikey, please.
Hey, Frank. Kyle has always been a willing kind of shooter and scorer, but there was a play in the first half, I think, where he's on a fast break and he makes the extra pass to get KCP a layup. He had the 2 block shots. How much of it do you think tonight was the other things in the first half in addition to the shot making?
Well, Kuz has really become a hell of a player, you know, and you know, playing in the role that he played in last year, where, you know, there was games where he wasn't really that involved in the offense and had to impact the game in other ways. I think in the long run is really going to help his game. So many young players, you know, they come into this league in different environments, and you know, they're asked to carry a big load offensively, and when you're doing that, you know, sometimes you shortcut some of the other parts of the game. And you know, Kuz has really worked on his defense. He's really worked on his rebounding, his cutting, his running the floor, all those types of things. And you know, I think you saw that tonight when he started scoring the ball, that he didn't force. You know, that was the most impressive thing, I think, of his night, is when he got red hot. You know, when the ball was swinging to him, defense was rotating. You know, he didn't take heat check type shots. You know, he just kept moving it on to the next guy. When he was open, he knocked it down. And you know, I was just really impressed with that aspect of his game tonight.
Okay, Bill Orm, please.
Hey, Frank, you talked before the game about how this game would test your depth. I'm just curious if you learned anything about about that depth in a situation where you didn't have one of your 2 stars and you didn't necessarily know who was going to step up. Was this how you saw it working, or did you learn something you didn't know about your team?
Well, this is what I hoped we would be. You know, and this team was undermanned, so it you know, when we learned that Cat was out, it becomes a trap game, right? You know, their best players out, and you know, they have an opportunity to come in here and catch us sleeping, and we didn't do that. You know, there's a lot of upsets around the league today, and you know, our guys came in with the mindset that, you know, we weren't happy with our defense the first 2 games. We're going to really pick that up, and we really got after it. You know, and like you said, the depth, I think, was on display tonight with the many ways that this team can put points on the board, and you know, the defensive talent that we have as well.
91, the second consecutive game. They shoot 56%, 13 to 35 from 3, 32 assists. They did it all, and of course, the #1 bench in the league does it again for 58 points. 18 and 9 for LeBron. just 26 minutes. He's speaking with Mike in the media.
Hey, LeBron, I don't want to encroach on McMenamin's turf here by asking about the wine to ankle ratio and all that, but I will. Anyway, how's it feeling? And clearly look fine, but what's the status?
I mean, it's been better, but it feels pretty good. Obviously, tomorrow, once I go to sleep and lay down, will be the telltale sign of how good or how not good it is. So I don't want to say I'm looking forward to that, but we'll see tomorrow.
I just wanted to ask you about playing with Marc Gasol, somebody with that hoops IQ and the way that he passes. He made some comments after the game about kind of the way that you see the game, like so few do. When you have two guys at the same time, like a little bit like you and Rondo last year maybe, what does that do and what have you learned about him early so far?
There's certain guys that just see plays before they happen and able to do it with their mind, do it with the pass, and Marc is one of those guys. Just his basketball IQ. It's like he said, there's not many that kind of see the game like that. So, I've been privileged to back-to-back years to be alongside Doe and now be alongside Marc, who sees the game very similar to the way I see it.
Okay, David McMenamin.
LeBron, you mentioned the other night when talking about your offense that you could have had 40 assists. Tonight you have 32, put 6 guys in double figures when AD doesn't even play. What are the offensive metrics and goals? What should they be for this collection that you guys have with the Lakers this year?
There's no we don't set out a goal for how many assists we want to have per night, but we want to move the ball. We shouldn't take many bad shots, if any at all, because we have so many body movement, player movement, and we have so many guys that can just make shots. But we got guys that can make the right play, make the right pass, from Dennis to Marc to myself. You've seen some unbelievable passes from Kuz tonight, AC, and the list goes on and on. That the guys that could just make the right play. So, no one should ever feel pressured to take a bad shot when guarded, because we can always get the ball moving from side to side. Attract two defenders and get it spraying out. And as you saw multiple actions tonight, Kuz had a drive where he was able to skip it to me, and I had a shot, but we had a greater shot to Marc, and Marc was able to drain that one. And then another instance where we moved the ball, shared the ball all the way around. KCP came off, could have fired a 3, but he hit Marc again at the top of the key, then went back door and got an and 1. So we have the ability to do some great things offensively. That's just not. It shouldn't be feel pressure about it.
Okay, Kyle Boone, please.
Hey, LeBron. A couple weeks before the season, you shared on social media that you thought Kyle was going to be the breakout player of the year. What are you seeing from him so far? Obviously, when he makes threes like it was tonight, we all see that. But what do you see sort of the edges of his game getting more refined to kind of fulfill that prediction?
The game is just slowing down for him. His ability to score the ball, we all know about that. His shot-making ability, either guarded or unguarded. But what he's done this year so far, what he did through our short training camp, and what he did actually, later in the postseason, you started to see that extra pass. He started seeing plays happening, and you look at the pass that he had to KCP in transition tonight. You see the dump off that he had to Trez for a dunk. He's just starting to make plays and see plays, that he didn't see, in his first couple of years, and that's all part of growth. He's in year 4, and the game is just slowing down tremendously for him. And he's going out there and just playing the game.
Okay, Dan Weinke, please.
Hey, LeBron. How adaptable is this team going to have to be this year with guys kind of being in and out for whatever reason? And how adaptable do you think you guys look tonight? It seemed like nobody tried to do too much is kind of the takeaway.
Yeah, that's going to be our identity. No one should ever feel like they need to do too much. Like we have so many players that can go out and make plays, so no one should, like I said, no one should ever feel pressured to go and do too much. We are a ball movement team. We want body movement. It's great energy behind the pass. And then when you have that movement, everyone feels comfortable. Everyone feels like they're a part of it. So we want to continue that throughout the whole season. And no matter who's in the lineup, no matter who's out of the lineup, we still want to play Laker basketball.
Okay, we'll just take a couple more questions. Yovan Buha, please.
Hey, LeBron. Heading into the game, Frank had said that defense had been a point of emphasis after the first 2 games. You guys had a season-high 14 blocks tonight. I'm curious what you thought of the performance, especially the rim protection.
We just took it to heart. We want to be one of the best defensive teams in the league, if not the best, and we took that to heart. After our first 2 games of the season, we wanted to get our percentages down. And I thought we played swarming defense tonight against a team that can score. No matter who's out there for them, they have guys that can score. So, we took that to heart. What coach and coaching staff wanted us to go out and do, and I think we executed that.
Okay, Kari Jones, please.
What's going on, LeBron?
What's going on?
What does wins like this do for the team? Like, does it give you opportunity to kind of do different lineups to see what works? Because I know it's still early on in the season.
It's still early in the season, and we have the ability to play a lot of different combinations with our lineups, and a coach has the ability to play different guys and play a lot of guys. We have a lot of guys that's deserving of minutes. So who's ever out on the floor at that particular time is going to play Laker basketball, and that's all we ask of each other. We're going to hold each other responsible and hold each other accountable. So tonight was an example of that.
All right, thanks so much, LeBron.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
All right, LeBron James, check this out. He has tied Kevin Garnett, 4th best all time, 1,260 straight games with 10 points. Most games with 10 points or more, ties Kevin Durant for 4th all time. So that's pretty cool. The ankle obviously going to be a little sore fish, James, Allie, but we expect LeBron to be just fine, don't we?
Yeah, he's gotten through little minor injuries and monitors himself very well. And I don't think he'll play if he feels he can't. But just listening to that interview there, it really makes Coach Vogel's job. I'm not going to say it makes it easier, but it really makes it, easier to maintain his players when you got a leader like that talking about other players and what he sees in them. And sounds like a coach when he was doing the interview right there.
I'm curious, Al. You spent so much time with him in Cleveland and in those trips to the finals, and obviously Kyrie was there, but he also had to lead those teams when guys were hurt all the way through the Eastern Conference. He had to take so much responsibility. We saw it here his first year, and then he got hurt. Last year, he took that role of point guard, but he also had Rondo. And now you see this team around him, and he doesn't have to do it every single night. How important is that, do you think, for LeBron James?
Yeah, I just think when you think of the longevity and what he can still bring to the game at such a high level, it's one of the big storylines, and it's what we have been keeping our eye on with this team in particular, is that opportunities like now with the depth in which the Lakers possess, it just allows for him to, one, get his body right and be in a position to feel as best as he can. Because you look at moments like tonight, and was that Christmas? Two games out of 3, right? When you're tweaking an ankle and you have an opportunity to not lose footing and to continue to still grow as a team, even if he does have to take a game or so off. Because the one thing he takes a lot of pride in is durability, being available. But he's not going to be available at half go. He's a guy that's going to give it and make sure when he's out there, it's because he's going to be 100%.
Especially this early in the season. We're 3 games in, Fish, right?
Yeah, we're 3 games in, but we have to remember this is an unprecedented short runway for the Lakers, for the Heat, for players that play deep into the postseason. 71, 72 days between the end of the 20 season and then now the beginning of 2021. So I believe LeBron he's figuring out how he's going to need to manage himself in a different way than he has in any other situation in his career. But I think we can all trust that he's going to take the time to figure out that process. Nights where he can get 18, 7, and 6, and they can win by 30.
We're okay.
He's cool.
Okay. He's going to take it.
and then there's going to be nights where he knows he needs to put the hammer down and get him over the hump.
All right, still to come on Access, Kyle Kuzma with the dish. Caldwell Pope did the rest. Lakers move to 2-1.